This is Steve Zeltzer with Workweek and Pacifica, and we're covering now the developments in Namibia, which recently had an election, and people in Namibia, workers and people were lined up. Many of them were not able to vote, and there's charges of the rigging of the election.
Well, thank you very much. We are gathered here at the Mekyo Hotel in Windhoek as the Landless People's Movement political party. Of course, we know that other political parties are on the way in solidarity. We are here simply to say that SADC and the cabal in here must condemn ECN and the whole process. I'm told that, I have not seen the report, but I'm told that they are maneuvering around and using very fancy words not to condemn, pointing out issues here and there, but it's not issues. Here are material misconduct and corruption and ECN rigging in connection or in support with ZANU-PF thugs that are here who are engineering our democracy. So we are telling SADC here, and we want to send them a strong message to say, don't maneuver with good words. Don't try to have your bread buttered on both sides. Condemn ECN, condemn ZANU-PF influence, condemn election rigging that is taking place in this place. We are here, and as the young people of this country who have registered to the tone of 71%, who will ultimately and subsequently decide the direction of this election, we are saying we are condemning SADC observers mission for trying to be very political, and in fact not just SADC but all observer mission. The other one, ECF, that is led by the chairperson of Zimbabwe's Electoral Commission. I mean, what can Zimbabwean chairperson of that commission tell us about democracy? The other one, AU, is the former vice president of Uganda. Currently, she is serving as the special advisor to Museveni. We know what Museveni does to political opponents in Uganda. What can these people tell us and teach us about democracy? They must behave in here. They must come out and condemn ECN and election rigging. We don't want these fancy reports where they say there are issues. There's no issues. Here are material election rigging taking place in Namibia. And this message should go out to everybody. We don't care about the reports because we know that these reports are drafted whilst ECN and them are sitting and having dinner and with their legal minds. We know these reports. These reports have no legal leg and binding on us as the Landless People's Movement, but in general and in particular the young people of this country and all citizens of this country, we will dictate what is free and fair. SADC will not impose what is free and fair on us. SADC will not decide for us this is free and this is not free. We will decide because we are on the ground. SADC came in this country a week ago. What can they tell us about what is happening in the country? What can they tell us about who is wrong and who? We know we are the custodians. We are the people on the ground. So SADC, together with all the other observer missions, behave. Know your place.
SWAPO is the party that was in charge, and many have said that they had 4 years to prepare for the election, yet people were waiting 10 hours or more to vote. And joining us...
My name is Lourens Ricarto Soroseb. I'm from Namibia. I'm a unionist and a community activist. So I've been involved with the unions almost now for 20 years, 20 plus minus 20 years. In the union, I was an employee representative. I was representing the employees and so on. And in the community, also I used to represent people from my community when it came to land issues, housing, municipality contract, so on.
And you were hired by the Eagle Security Company. You work at the Husab Mine, which is the second largest uranium mine in the world. What happened with that victimization you're firing? Was that for union activity at the workplace?
Yes, it was for union activity at the workplace. Because the company was like victimizing the members, we were being targeted individually, so on. So as a representative of the employees used to come to me with their complaints. Then I was the one who was taking the complaints to the management of the company, to Eagle Network. Then in that process, it became like our relationship between me and the company became sour because I was telling them the truth. Because the guys were complaining about the rate. Because we were getting the security guards, they were getting $8.85 the hour, and then we did not have any health benefit, we did not have any pension, medical aid, danger allowance, all those stuff. Just imagine the hours we used to work maybe 14 to 16 hours per day, and all
And
those complaints used to come to me, and I was the one who was taking the complaints to the management, even trying to advise them on a solution. But then it became like I was the enemy of the company because they wanted me to keep the complaints quiet. If an employee comes to me, tell me their complaint, I had to keep my mouth shut. But I did not do that.
some of the issues also were health protection, PPE. You work in a
Yes.
uranium mine. What were some of the health issues you had at for your members?
For our members, for my members, it was like PPE was the major one. Like we used to respond, we used security guards were led or made to work in high risk areas like the solvent plant, final product recovery plant, IX plant, all those things. And for the emergency workers, we used to respond to primary pet and all those things. We used to respond to the open pet without any PPE, without any required PPE, which was supposed to be provided by the company or by SWAPO uranium itself. They neglected it because the whole issue was like, as you outsource our job, our contracts to Eagle Networks, which is something like modern slavery. You think about it. We are working for SWAPO uranium, but Eagle Networks is the one who is responsible for us, for our payments and for our salaries and our benefits. And when it came to Eagle Networks always, whenever they were short on money, not giving the right PPE, not providing or giving the necessary trainings.
You also visited a lithium mine. Why don't you talk about that? Because the mines, there are many mines. Namibia is a rich country. The people should be doing well with all the wealth in Namibia, but
Yeah,
the reality is that miners, workers in Namibia are not benefiting from the tremendous resources and wealth of Namibia.
yeah.
Why don't you talk about your visit to the lithium mine?
I was at the lithium mine. There were some comrades from there who called me. They said they wanted me to come and witness with my own eyes what is happening with on the ground. And I went there. I thought maybe it will be better from this side, from maybe from the coast mines. You go that side of Uis, it might be better. But there it's even worse. The salaries they are very low. I mean, that mine is maybe 10 kilometers outside of town. And there's even a construction company there, which is owned by Chinese individuals. I think that lithium mine and that contractor company, they are just the same. All of them, they are owned by Chinese. Those guys are staying 10 kilometers outside of me. They are getting water. They are getting water once a week. Everyone is getting a 20-liter container to use for 7 days. If your water is finished, then it means you don't bath, you don't cook. There is no hospital which is nearby. PPE, no PPE. The guys they are only getting maybe a jacket or a trouser. If you get a trouser, you don't get a jacket. If you get a jacket, you don't get a trouser. The hard head guys who are working there, I saw some told me they brought their own hard heads from their houses or they were given some by their comrades who were either fired or who left the company. And salary wise, they don't even get their salaries in the banking system or the banking institutions. They get it through an envelope. They get paid in an envelope, a brown envelope. And those guys, they are very tricky because I was also looking for the owner or the boss, the big boss, which they are calling the big boss. I pretended that I'm looking for a job. He told me, no, the big boss is not here. He'll only be here on the 11th of December. What? If I want a job, then I have to come on that day because I think 10th of December is a public holiday. Then they told me to come on the 11th of December. TV. So on that day, apparently the boss will be there because I wanted him. I wanted to see who he is. I wanted to get his picture and so on, so that I can expose that those guys who are there, they are doing criminal stuff. It's like the Namibians here, their country, their resources, but what they are benefiting and what they are being treated and how they are being treated like animals.
And you have been filed a complaint because of your termination. You said it was discriminatory. You've tried to have hearings, and also you tried to organize a rally, and they revoked your permit. You have to have permit under the new SWAPO regulation. You had to pay a fine. It sounds like the government is trying to shut down any kind of protest any kind of democratic rights of workers to organize. Is that the case?
Yeah, that is the case. Like SWAPO, yeah, the SWAPO in the labor unions we are having is like brothers and sisters. So if you don't belong to a certain union, like the mining union, MUN, you will find MUN. MUN is like the baby girl or baby daughter of SWAPO. If you are not part of that union, you will not be helped anyway. You will not even succeed at the arbitration level at Ministry of Labor if you go and register your case. And then we find some juniors which are there for sensationalizing their, how can I say, they are juniors who just want to be exposed, but they are not in actual helping the employees, but they just want to be exposed so that they can also be seen by SWAPO and get a piece of the pie.
And you just had an election, as I reported. Large numbers of people were waiting for 10 hours to vote. The election, many are charging that it was a rigged election. What was your experience in the election?
I think this election was a shame by SWAPO. It was totally rigged. One day we were having one day, and from that one day it became clear it's now going to be 3 days. And from those 3 days, just imagine what SWAPO did. They excluded Comas region and Erongo region. Just imagine the opposition parties, they are having power in Erongo, Swakop, Valfes, Windu, all those places. But when the extension came for the elections to be extended for maybe 2 days, then it was only the heartbeat of SWAPO, the regions of SWAPO, where they know their supporters are. They give the extension to those regions for the extra 2 days. But for us, some of us, we even travel from other regions to come back to our own region, which is Erongo. But when I came here, I was even told Erongo is not on the list of the extension. While you know the opposition parties, they are having a stronghold here. Most of the supporters are here in Erongo region and Komas region.
So, what are
And
people
then you
demanding
would
now?
also hear in Swago, you also hear come on, there were ballot papers which were which were finished while the voters were standing outside. You know, Zakati, even you hear Swabo brought in members from Angola to come and vote in the Namibian elections. They were caught. There are also video recordings on the social media, which was posted on social media by some of our comrades. So I think we have to wait now because the other opposition parties they came together. I think they are going to launch a high court case against Swabo for these elections to be nullified and void.
And is the Chinese government, the Chinese capitals in Namibia, do they give funds to SWAPO? Are they getting money?
It's obvious, comrade. It's obvious. Like number one, you have to check. There is a lady here in Namibia. It's a Chinese, Stino Wu or something like that. She's a Chinese national. She came here. She get the. I don't know how she even get a Namibian document to say she's now a Namibian. She's one of the millionaires now here in Namibia. Like the contact point between politicians and companies and SWAPO and so on. So she is now there. She even came in Portland in Namibia, while the other nationals have been refused to even go to buy land in SWAPO. Even an earth, to buy an earth while you're an outsider, it's very hard. But that's Tino Wu, a Chinese. She just came, she bought land. Not one. She bought land in different towns. Like now, she even went to the bank, this development bank of Namibia. She get loans there, millions and millions of dollars. So if you talk about SWAPO, then you must know SWAPO is being backed up by someone who's behind. And that someone is Chinese. Chinese were already given this land, which we call Namibia. If we can talk the actual truth, SWAPO already sold us out. If you come to our national resources, you will see starting with SWAPO uranium, how it is. The Chinese are having 90% shares of ownership, while Namibia is just having 10%.
So your mine is also owned by a Chinese company,
Yes,
and it's
Swago
making.
Miranda is falling, and Rosing even is falling under the Chinese government. Those CGNs and whatever you are hearing, the CGN, CCG, and all those things, Beifang Mining, all those companies, they are falling under the Chinese government.
So you're saying the Chinese investments hasn't helped you or the people of Namibia, the workers of Namibia, breaking the unions?
No, 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 no. And the Chinese, they don't like unions. They don't like labor unions. If the years here you are part of a union or you are coming from a union or you are having a union background, no Chinese company will never hire you. Once they see your name, they'll just say, "Ah, this one is problem. Don't hire him." I was at
But
Beifang for many interviews. I was turned away just because my name came out. Even the HR recognizes me. He's telling me, "Hey, that is another story." There's a HR which was also fired by Beifang by the Chinese because he did not want to do what the Chinese wanted. But in the end, for him, he was with the Chinese from the beginning. Then later on, he called me, wanted help now from me. And I told him, you see how the world is working. You were with the Chinese, you were eating nice, you were treating our people like chickens here. Now that you are fired, you are coming back to me, asking me for help. How should I now help you? Comrade, this country of ours, like now we were eating all the Jews. After this election, all the Jews of Namibia, everyone which is between 20 years and 40 years, we are going to start up a program whereby we are going to go from region to region, but we are not going to take many people. If you are a group of maybe 3,000 young youth, from those 3,000, we will just select like 5 members. Then we'll try to organize like something like a conference. Then we want all the 14 regions to come together. We have to work on the action plan so that we have to take back our country for ourselves. Whether we go through the courts or we go through the labors or whatever, through the unions, we need to stand up. These elections already showed us where the way what is going to happen. You saw the news was here, SWAPO was going to lose. But today you hear SWAPO won.
so they rigged the election.
They rigged it. Very much they rigged it.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for joining us, Lourens. We're talking about the election in Namibia and the struggle of workers to have union representation and how the influence of the Chinese company investors in Namibia is affecting democratic rights, workers' rights, and even having a democratic election. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, comrade.